Right, Rashad G back in the building. Welcome back to another Retroland review. So I'm continuing my Hood Classic series, and we have next Above the Rim, 1994's Above the Rim, directed by Jeff Polak, who's also known for co-creating The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And this movie stars Dwayne Martin, Leon Robinson, the late great Tupac Shakur, Marlon Wayans, and Wood Harris in one of his first films. You know, if you know Wood Harris, he's also from The Wire. He played Avon Barksdale in The Wire. He was also Uncle Brook in the New Edition movie, which I should review. I should review New Edition soon. But anyways, back to this. So Above the Rim was one of many basketball films that came out in the 90s, like White Men Can't Jump, Sunset Park, Basketball Diaries, He Got Game, and of course Hoop Dreams, which was awesome as well. So it's just one of many basketball movies that came out in the 90s. And honestly, there's nothing really unique about this movie. There's nothing original about this movie. But I still love this film because of the performances, because of the energy of the movie, and of course because of the soundtrack. Like, this was at a time where movies had killer soundtracks, and Above the Rim definitely has one of the best soundtracks of all time. This was back when Death Row was popping. Death Row was like the shit in the rap game. And it's funny because this movie is based in New York, and the majority of the songs that you hear are Death Row songs. So that's kind of ironic. And of course, this is before the whole East Coast West Coast thing blew up. At the time, everybody loved Death Row. So anyways, the film is about Kyle Watson, who is a star basketball player. He's a star point guard, and he's trying to get recruited by Georgetown. And he wants to do any and everything he can to stand out so the recruiters can see him. So there's a basketball tournament coming up. It's kind of like a street ball tournament, kind of. And his coach is coaching, of course, their team. And then you have Tupac, who plays the character of Birdie, who is recruiting his own all-star team. And he sees Kyle play at a game, and he wants to recruit him. And Kyle, he's conflicted between the two because he wants to play for his coach and he loves his teammates. But at the same time, Birdie is in his ear like the devil, trying to tempt him with riches and fame and guaranteeing that he'll get seen by the Georgetown scout and that he'll be recruited and he can help him get recruited. He's promising him all these things. And of course, if you're a 17-year-old kid and you want to make it out and you hear this, who's not going to be tempted by that? So that's the basis of the story. And then Leon Robinson's character, he plays Tommy Shepard, who was a star basketball player at that same school where Kyle plays at now, but like way back in the day. And Tommy Shepard was the shit, but something happened where he fell off, he fell on hard times, and he never lived up to his potential, and he spent the rest of his life just roaming the planet like the Incredible Hulk. And he ends up coming back around to the school. He becomes a security guard there, but of course he's quiet, doesn't say anything, just stays real low key. Nobody really knows who he is except for, of course, his brother Birdie. And eventually he builds a friendship with Kyle. He starts to kind of mentor Kyle. Like, Kyle starts to see that Tommy Shepard, okay, this guy was a good ball player, he's the truth. But then he falls out with Tommy Shepard, of course, because Tommy Shepard starts boning his moms.
Hi, you alright?
Yo, I'm telling you, I don't want you seeing my moms again. Your own brother says you ain't shit, motherfucker, and you better stay away from him. I'm telling you, Dad, chill. You off me, man. I'm telling you, stay away from my mom.
And I guess that's justified because no dude in their right mind wants their friend, anybody that they cool with, boning their moms. So that's definitely a no-no. So of course, Kyle ends up playing with Birdie's team. Well, he ends up joining Birdie's team, but then he starts to see the ugly side of Birdie's world. Like, he was tempted, yeah, by the fame and all that stuff, but then he sees that Birdie is actually gangster. Birdie carves people up, he kills people. His lieutenant, Martar, played by Wood Harris, who's his lieutenant, and also, I guess, the backup point guard. He was supposed to be the point guard, but Kyle took over for him. And Martar is like, he's just mean, vicious, and does not like Kyle because Kyle's replacing him. And how can I not forget Marlon Wayans, who plays Boogaloo? He's the one that actually brought Birdie to the game to see Kyle play. And Boogaloo, you know what? I've never been a fan of Marlon Wayans. I don't hate the guy, but he just does too much. He's too over the top. He tries to do anything to get a laugh. Not trying to hate on the man, but I'm just not a fan of his work. I didn't mind him in this movie. I thought he fit this movie. He still is crazy Marlon Wayans, but it wasn't as annoying. And like there was a scene where Boogaloo and Kyle witness Martar roughing up a dude that owed him money.
That nigga how he's. Come here, nigga. You don't understand? Don't ever hold out on me. You got that? Did you motherfuckers see that? I'm a motherfucking soldier, you know what I'm saying? Now drive. Nigga, you need a role model. A hug or something.
And of course, I was in high school. I was in 9th grade when this movie came out. I was really into basketball. I was really into the Knicks and stuff. So I really could relate to this movie. And I really loved this film at the time. But of course, you know, not a lot of people talk about it unless, you know, I mean, the only channel they really show it on is BET. So what does that go to show you? And they also play Menace and Boys in the Hood on there, but you know, you talk to most people, they know Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society. Not a lot of people know about Above the Rim, but this is a great film. I definitely recommend you watch it. But of course, like Cinema Sin says, no film is without sin. This movie definitely has problems, and like I said, it's not really original. It's stuff that you've seen already, so it is a little predictable. And one of the parts that really stuck out to me, that I said that, okay, they could have did a better job with the editing, was the final tournament scene, where you can tell they was re-looping the same basketball footage over and over again, but just from different angles. And at the time when I first saw it, I really didn't pick up on that, but then the more I watched, I said, wait a minute, that's the same play, but just in a different angle. And they did that a lot in that final scene. And other than that, I really didn't have a problem with anything in this movie. I mean, that was like the only thing that stood out. All the performances were good. Bernie Mac plays a homeless guy in here. I thought, you know, he did good in this movie. And Pac, let me tell you, man, every time I go back and watch one of Tupac's movies, it saddens me, because this man was so genius, and it's like you just can't help but think what could have been. Like, I think this may be controversial, but I think that Pac he could have been an Oscar caliber actor. This man, if he just stayed alive, this man probably could have won an Oscar, because you can tell he took his craft seriously. Every character he played, he put his heart and soul into it, and you bought it.
What, selling that shit? Are you that dumb?
Fuck you think you talking to, man? This ain't nutso. This ain't that dope head on the roof taking orders from you. This ain't your same little brother following behind you trying to go outside. You ain't the motherfucking man no more. I'm the one. Shit has changed. It's a new day, bruh. If you can't clean up your act, I suggest you raise the fuck up. Get the hell out of Dodge. Get caught up.
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up and grade this thing. I'm gonna give Above the Rim a B+. And the reason I'm gonna give it a B+ is because there was nothing really groundbreaking about it. It was a fun film, but like I said, you watch it, it's really predictable. And then even the part where Tommy Shepard comes out of retirement and single-handedly takes down the whole team, it was a little far-fetched, but still fun to watch. I mean, back in the day, like when somebody caught fire, you know, you would say like, yeah, like he's being Tommy Shepard right now. So yeah, I give this film a B+. I know my other hood classics, I gave all of them A's. This was probably the lowest rated one, but it's still a great film. I still love this film. I can go back and watch it. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. If you haven't seen it for a long time, watch it again. I guarantee you'll still have fun watching this movie. So that's my Retroland Hood Classic review for Above the Rim. And watch out for my next Hood Classic, which is...
Now, Dana told me about that big snake situation.
Big worm.
Big worm, big hole, big... I don't give a damn!
¿Y qué te monótono? Me decime que le meto más de esto.
I said they hit me. me to the hip.
I'm gonna kill you and Smokey.
You need a job.
You need a wig.
That's my dog. What you gonna do today? Someone get a fly girl, gonna get some thing to drive off in a death old day.
Damn! What you hooking me with that girl for? Talking about she look like Janet Jackson. Control. Got out the car looking more like Freddie Jackson.
Friday.
Don't ever come by here.
So there you have it. This is Rashad G signing out. Thank you for watching. Comment freely below and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.